Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, Poverty Hill Adventures. This is going to be another camping video. This is going to be the first time I use my new canvas one-pole hunter tent. I've had one-pole hunter tents in the past and really liked them. I liked them quite a bit, and I've used them very hard over the last several years, and I got a new one. The only difference between the new one and the old one is this one has a Tipi style door, and I'm going to set it up here. They're very simple to set up. One of the things I really like about it is the ease in which one person can set it up. The hardest part, and it's really not hard, of setting up this tent is all of the stakes. It's got, I don't know, I think 24 stakes, and once you get it up, I gotta adjust the tension just right. I don't want it overly tight because canvas will contract. And I've had issues with the stakes pulling out because of the weather and everything. But then again, you don't want it too loose. So there's a kind of a happy ground in between there. Now, before all of you well-intentioned viewers leave a comment saying, why are you hammering in stakes using an axe? Well, this isn't just an axe, a hatchet. It is a hammer on one end. So I am using a hammer. Anyhow, I got to get with it and get the rest of the stakes in. The tent has an interesting feature. It has these loops at the peak on the outside, and I've never used it, but they say that you could attach a rope to those loops and eliminate the pole altogether, tie it to a branch or whatever. I've never used it, but it's there just in case. I suppose you could also use those to attach two outside poles and eliminate the one pole on the inside, but the one pole on the inside is just so simple that that's the setup that I use. The tent has a stove jack, so I can hook up a wood stove in it. When you're camping, certain tools become important. And are used all the time, probably daily when you're out camping. And one of those tools is a camp knife. Now, I'm not talking about a hunting knife, although a camp knife could be used to field dress game. I'm talking a general purpose camp knife. And I've got several knives, and I like to use them all, you know. And is there one that is the best? The one that is better than all the rest? Well, I don't think so. I don't think there is. I would say that whatever knife you have in camp is the best knife at the time. So, but certain ones do shine a little bit better than others. And I've been using one for the last year or so. Not exclusively, but I've been using it a lot when I'm out camping. And that is this knife here. This is a Kepart out of Olean, New York. Becker knife and tool. This is a copy of a Horace Kepart knife. It's the model is BK62, and the knife supposedly, I can't say for sure, but as per the maker, was a copy of the only existing Kepart knife in outside of a museum, and they somehow were able to get their hands on it and copy it and make a modern version of a Kepart knife. Now, Horace Kepart, he was a big outdoorsman. Oh, I'd say probably 100 years ago, maybe even a little bit more than 100 years ago. And he was a lot like Nessmuk up in the Adirondacks. Well, Horace had his own opinions on camp knives, and he designed a knife specifically as a all-around camp knife, a bushcraft knife, whatever you want to call it. And Kepart, or I'm not sure how Becker Knife and Tool and Kepart, if they're one and the same or one owns the other or what, but the manufacturer down in Olean, New York, Kepart, started making these. And it's really kind of a plain looking knife. There's nothing fancy about it. Comes with a nice simple leather sheath, and I guess the blade would be, oh, I'd say maybe 5.5 inches. Comes razor sharp. Now, I've sharpened this several times, but I use this all the time in camp, and I'm really starting to like this knife. I would not want to say that this is the best knife, best camp knife in the world, but it is a good camp knife. And the handle is rather thin, but it fits my hand well. And I use it all the time. I use it for things like fire prep and a lot cooking and cutting rope and stuff like that. So I just thought I'd mention it to everybody out there. I'm by no means endorsing this knife. I'm just showing it to you. Speaking of prepping and cooking dinner, it's getting close to dinner time. And I was kind of thinking that maybe tonight, even though it's dinner time, I was thinking I'd cook breakfast. I like breakfast. I like breakfast on the Coleman. So I thought I'd cook up some eggs, some bacon, some potatoes, you know, maybe you'll mix in a few onions. There's the whole tent all packed up, ready to go. If you were to cut your own pole and sticks for the door and cut your own stakes on site, you could just eliminate it down to just the tote and the tent. If weight is an issue, this tent is not light. It's well over 30 pounds, the canvas. So if weight is an issue, this tent is not for you. I do all my camping, within distance to the truck, a short distance to the truck. I drive most of the way in. So weight really isn't a factor for me. Until next time, everybody, take care. Thank you for watching. Remember to keep on trucking and believe in yourself even when no one else does.